So, they wanted to push you, huh? Wanted to see what you'd do when they tugged at your strings, poked at your skin like you're some kind of circus act. Well, you know what they say about people like them, don't you? They're the ones who scream the loudest, but fall the hardest. You're not like them. No. You're different. You don't dance on their stage. You don't perform like they want you to. And you want to know why that drives them crazy? Because you don't react. That silence, that sweet, deadly silence, it eats at them. It tears their insides apart because deep down they know they've got nothing on you. They want you to scream, to fight, to lose control. But nah, not you. You've got that thing, that cold, cold fire inside you. And that, it makes you dangerous. See, they think power's in the noise, in the chaos. But the real power, the real power is in the quiet moments. The moments when you keep your mouth shut, your fists clenched, and your eyes forward. That silence, it's louder than any scream. They'll try to break you, you know? Yeah. They'll push. They'll prod. They'll spit in your face, hoping to see the fire. But you know what you do? You stand there, silent. Because every second you don't react, every moment you stay calm, they lose. Yeah, they lose control. And people like them, they hate losing control. They wanted a reaction, but all they got was your silence. You want to know why? Because that silence, it's you saying, you don't own me. It's you saying, I'm better than this. And they can't stand it. Makes them feel powerless, like they don't matter. And the truth is, they don't. Not to you. You ever wonder why they hate silence so much? It's because it forces them to look at themselves. It forces them to realize they're not as big, not as bad as they thought they were. They need your reaction to feel alive. Without it, they're nothing. And you've got the power to strip that away from them. Every single time. See, here's the truth about the world, my friend. It's not about who screams the loudest or who throws the biggest punch. Nah, it's about who can take it. Who can take all the punches, all the blows, and still stand there grinning in the face of it all. They want you to break. They want to see the cracks. But you? You're made of something stronger. You're made of silence. And silence can be scarier than any scream. People think they want noise. They think they want chaos. But the scariest thing in the world, it's that moment when everything goes quiet, and all they've got left is the sound of their own thoughts. That's when the real fear sets in. That's when they realize they've lost. You didn't give them the reaction they wanted, and that's what'll keep them up at night. You're not like the rest of them. You don't flinch. You don't give in. You don't let them drag you into their pit of madness. Because you know, deep down, that silence, it's your weapon. It's what makes you untouchable, unstoppable. They can throw their stones, they can scream, they can cry, but in the end, it's your silence that breaks them. So, they wanted a reaction, huh? Wanted to see you snap, lose it, fall apart, but you didn't. You stood there, stone-faced, cold, untouchable. And now they don't know what to do. They're lost. And you're still standing, stronger than ever. Because while they were busy screaming, you were building something inside, something they can't see, something they'll never understand. And that, my friend, that's the real power, not in the noise, not in the chaos, but in the silence that follows, the silence that leaves them questioning everything, the silence that says, I'm still here, and I'm not going anywhere. So, the next time they come at you, the next time they try to break you, just remember this. They wanted a reaction, but all they got was your silence. And that's what'll haunt them. Because that silence, it's louder than any scream they'll ever hear. You're standing on the edge, looking down into the pit they built for you. Every stone in that pit, every sharp corner, every jagged rock, it's all designed to make you fall, make you bleed. They put it there with your name on it. They want to see you crawl out, battered, bruised, begging for mercy. But guess what? You're still standing on the edge, looking down, and you haven't flinched. Not once. And that's what gets them, isn't it? That blank look on your face. That nothingness. You aren't scrambling to fight your way out because you never fell in. And now they're stuck in their own little trap, clawing at the walls, waiting for you to throw them a bone. But you're smarter than that. You know the game now. You ever notice how the ones who try to push you down are the ones who are already sinking themselves? Yeah, they're drowning, man. And they want company. They need someone to point at, someone to scream at when their lungs are filling with water. And that's supposed to be you. That's what they want. But here's the thing. When you don't give them the reaction, when you don't fight the way they expect, something beautiful happens. They panic. They lose it. They turn that rage inward, tearing themselves apart. You don't need to hit them back. You don't need to shout or scream or throw punches. They'll do all that for you. They'll destroy themselves trying to destroy you. They think they own your fear. They think they've got some kind of leash around your neck, pulling you wherever they want. But that leash, it's not there. Never was. You just let them think it was. And that's where the power really is, isn't it? The moment they realize you never belonged to them, that they don't own you, they want you to crack, to break, to scream. But what do they get? Silence. And man, nothing's more terrifying than silence when you expect chaos. Let me tell you something. The world out there, it's full of people who want to control you. They'll smile in your face. shake your hand, and then stab you in the back the second you turn around. They'll talk about loyalty, respect, all that garbage. But deep down, they're just waiting for you to slip up, waiting for that moment of weakness. And that's where they're wrong. Because people like you, people who've been through the fire, who've stood at the edge and didn't jump, they don't slip, they don't break, they endure. You ever see a person who's lost everything? I mean, really lost everything? There's a moment right there at the end when they stop fighting, when they realize the world isn't gonna give them anything back. And you'd think that's the moment they break, right? But nah, sometimes that's the moment they become something else, something stronger. You know why? Because once you've got nothing left to lose, once the world's taken everything from you, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. What are they gonna do? Hurt you? You've been through worse. Betray you? You already knew they would. Take something from you? They can't, because you've got nothing left to give. That's when they realize they can't control you, and that's when they fear you. They wanted a reaction, but all they got was your silence. And that silence, it's the loudest thing in the room. It's deafening. It's the sound of you not giving a damn about their little games. It's the sound of you knowing exactly who you are, and that makes you more dangerous than any scream ever could. See, they think control comes from fear. They think if they can scare you, they can own you. But what happens when you don't fear them? What happens when you look them dead in the eyes and they see that you're not afraid, that you never were? They crumble, they fall apart, because their power wasn't real. It was just a shadow, just a trick of the light. And you've seen through it. You know the truth now. They're the weak ones. They're the ones who can't stand on their own 2 feet without dragging someone else down. And you're standing taller than ever. Not because you shouted louder, not because you hit harder, but because you stayed silent. Silence. It's a funny thing, isn't it? It's like a mirror. It forces people to see themselves for who they really are. And most people, they can't handle that. They need the noise, the chaos, the distractions. Without it, they have to face the reality of their own weakness. But not you. You're comfortable in the silence. You're comfortable in your own skin. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you untouchable. They wanted a reaction, but what they got was your indifference. And that's what'll eat at them forever. Every time they look in the mirror, they'll see it. They'll see the silence staring back at them, reminding them that they couldn't break you. And that silence, it's not empty. Oh no. It's full of everything they tried to take from you. It's full of all the strength they underestimated, all the resilience they didn't see. That's the beauty of it. The silence they fear, it's the silence that shows them exactly how strong you are. And that strength, it's unbreakable. They can scream all they want, but in the end, it's your silence that wins. And let's be real for a second, huh? You've already seen it. You've felt it. They poke, they push, they taunt. And when they don't get what they want, when you don't snap, they get desperate. Oh, you've seen desperation, haven't you? The way their eyes twitch when you don't rise to their bait. The way their voices crack when they realize they're not getting to you. Yeah, that's the real fun, watching them unravel. See, most people don't get this part. Most people think you gotta fight fire with fire, shout louder, hit harder. But the thing is, that's exactly what they expect. They want the fight because that's the game they know how to play. But silence? Silence throws them off. It's like dropping them in the middle of a storm and cutting off the lights. Now they're blind, they're panicking, and they're helpless. Because people like them, they can't handle the unknown. They can't handle that moment when they don't know what's coming next. And you've got the ultimate weapon. Unpredictability. They don't know what to do with silence, man. They can't fight it, can't outsmart it, can't control it. And that's when they fall apart. They came to play a game, but it's not the one you're playing. They came for a reaction, but instead, you gave them silence. That's not the script they wrote. They've got no clue how to respond. And that's when they start to crumble. That's when the panic sets in. And you're just watching it all happen. Quiet, calm, like a damn force of nature. See, you can be the calm in the middle of the storm. You can be the eye while everything else is spinning out of control. They'll thrash around, trying to drag you into the chaos. But you're untouchable, because your silence, it's unshakable. And nothing drives people crazier than someone who can't be rattled. Let me tell you something. Life's a dirty game. You already know that. It's not fair. It's not kind. It doesn't care who you are, what you've been through, or what you've lost. And the people in it, they're no better. They'll smile in your face, wait for the right moment, then gut you the second you turn around. Trust me, I know people. I am people. But here's where you've got the upper hand. You're not playing by their rules anymore. They wanted you to fall apart, to lose control, to beg for mercy. But you didn't. You're still standing, and that's the part they can't handle. They want to see the cracks. They want to see you sweat. But what do they get? Nothing. Just that same cold, hard silence. That silence? It's the sound of your survival. You think survival's about being the strongest, the loudest, The fastest? Nah. Survival's about endurance. It's about being the last one standing, the one who didn't break, who didn't lose their mind, who didn't fall into the traps they set. That's you. They wanted to crush you, but you crushed them without even lifting a finger. And now they're scrambling, desperate for a way to regain control. But they can't, because you've got something they can't touch. That silence? It's your shield. And it's not just a defense, it's a weapon. It slices deeper than any insult. It hits harder than any punch. Because silence is power. You know what people hate more than anything? They hate what they can't understand. They hate what they can't predict. And you, my friend, you've become the one thing they can't figure out. The one thing they can't control that terrifies them. You think they hate you because of who you are? Nah. They hate you because of what you represent. You represent freedom. Freedom from their little games, their little boxes. You've stepped outside their world, and now you're untouchable. And that, oh, that drives them mad. They'll come at you harder. They'll try new tricks, new lies, new traps. But guess what? None of it matters, because you're already ahead of them. You've already won. You won the moment you chose not to play their game. You ever seen what happens when people realize they've lost? Really lost? When they've thrown everything at you and you're still standing? It's like watching someone drown. But the water is their own failure, their own weakness. And the best part? You don't have to do a damn thing. Just stand there. Watch them flail around. Watch them try to hold on to what little control they thought they had. And when they finally realize they've got nothing left, that's when you'll see it. The fear in their eyes. The fear of you. Because that silence, it wasn't just nothing. It was a promise. A promise that no matter what they threw at you, no matter how hard they tried to break you, you would always stand stronger. They wanted a reaction. They wanted chaos. But all they got was your silence. And that silence, that's what'll haunt them. Not the things you said, not the things you did, but the things you didn't say, the things you didn't do, the fact that you didn't give them the satisfaction of knowing they got to you. And that's power. Real power. The kind that can't be bought or stolen. The kind that comes from knowing who you are and standing firm in that truth, no matter what they throw at you. They wanted a reaction, but all they got was your silence. And that silence, it's going to echo in their heads for the rest of their lives. Every time they look in the mirror, they'll hear it. Every time they try to sleep, they'll feel it. That cold, crushing silence. The silence that says, you didn't break me. You never even came close. And that, my friend, is what makes you untouchable, unstoppable. They'll keep coming, keep trying, but in the end, it won't matter. You've already won.